President Ilir Mehta's spokesperson Teddy Belushi declared on Thursday that the report of national security on the risk of Parliament burning isn't being held secret by the president, emphasizing that Mehta is ready to cooperate with any institution regarding the issue. The majority has overthrown President Ilir Mehta's 8 decrees, which were returned to the Assembly for reconsideration earlier. Kosovo was represented only at the embassy level at the Visegrad summit in the Czech Republic, many calling the boycott of the summit associated with the Czech president's view against Kosovo's independence. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 12th of September 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to RTV Ora's English edition. My name is Oliver, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. Making headlines tonight, the spokesperson for President Ilir Mehta's Teddy Belushi declared on Thursday that the report on the national security risk on the burning of Parliament is not being withheld by the president. Reactions came following the disinformation by some media asserting that the President of the Republic is keeping the report on national security a secret. But Belushi stressed that President Mehta is ready to cooperate with any institution regarding the issue. He stated that the president on Wednesday sent a letter to the Institution of National Security in order to submit to Parliament the letter it sent to the presidency on June 7th. With the utmost responsibility, I would like to reaffirm the determination of the President of the Republic, Ilir Mehta, who expressed very clearly yesterday to the media and the public that he will exercise his constitutional powers as a president who presides over the rule of law. Unfortunately, but not surprisingly, the portals and newspapers of the state propaganda and PPPs continue to misinform the public with fake news, as if President Mehta is keeping the report produced by the High Institution of National Security a secret, in which it warns of the risk to Parliament by the burning on the 8th of June of this year. Yesterday, the institution of the president launched a request to the High Institution of the National Security in an effort to make the report it submitted to the president on June 7, 2019, available to Parliament. Yesterday, the head of state also sent an official letter to Parliament notifying it about the preceding request, said Belushi. The president's spokesperson also clarified that Mehta's Security Council team, headed by the National Security Advisor Bahri Sachiri, will cooperate with any state institution on this matter to make available all information and facts, including film, audio, and photographic evidence. Next up tonight, the majority in Parliament has overthrown President Mehta's 8 decrees, which were returned to the Assembly for reconsideration earlier this month. Now the law and amendments to the Penal Code, which provides for increased penalties in the case of road concessions or laws dealing with public-private partnership concessions, will come into force without the signature of the head of state. At its July session, the majority decided that unqualified bidding concessions would be allowed until the 1st of October. The Socialist Party has called on the new parliamentary opposition to continue the cooperation on changing the electoral code. Speaking at the parliamentary session, Talon Bala insisted that it was the Democratic and Socialist Movement for Integration parties which did not ascertain the voting of immigrants. Although he called for comprehensive reform, he indicated that Parliament would continue with the changes to the electoral code, stating, "I have respect for the political history and the continuation of the inclusive political dialogue in this country. We will have a new electoral code. I will say it again. We have not done reform without depoliticizing the election commissions or removing the parties from the vote count. It must be done voluntarily by people without links to politics. And if a single vote moves from one side to another, he or she must be held accountable and sentenced to 7 years in prison. If they do not want to do this, it does not mean that electoral reform will remain a pledge. Haidari and Jiknuri communicate constantly. I urge you to assemble the commission as soon as possible," said Bala. The Minister of the Diaspora, Pandel Maiko, has claimed that there will be a deal between the Socialists and Democrats. If there would be, it should be voted on in Parliament. Since the issue of our agreement with the Socialist Party was discussed here, you don't have to worry. In the end, this is a story that belongs to us, and the consequences of it will fall on us. What is important to you is that any agreement discussed outside this Parliament hall In the end, it will come back to this hall to be voted on, said Maiko. The invitation to the cooperation in the Assembly comes just a few days after the OSCE ODIHR report on Albania's local elections, which criticized the politicization of the process and the refusal to publish it in the official notebook of the October 13th elections. The leader of the Democratic Party has declared an investigation into every MP and minister who has voted in favor of approving projects to build the Milo, Baldren, and Oricum Ducat roads. Declaring it the biggest robbery of the century, Luzim Basha said the anti-mafia law in Spock will act to incriminate all those responsible, stating, "In these moments, just a few meters behind me in the Assembly, the biggest robbery in the 30-year history of pluralism in this country is being decided. I am talking about the concession of the Milot, Baldren, and Oricum Ducat roads. The president's decree on the return of these two corrupt contracts is being rejected by corrupted politicians. This is theft by law. I would like to remind any member of the session who votes in favor of this kind of theft that tomorrow it will be subject to the anti-mafia law. Today we are watching you and recording your names because tomorrow we will follow every penny, every expense in Albania and abroad, in every property, and your property will be in the grip of the anti-mafia law in Spock. What is being voted on by the Republic's landfill today is theft by law." Basha went on to accusations against the Prime Minister of being the main beneficiary of Albanian taxes abused under the PPP scheme. Dear citizens, the formula for stealing your money is very simple. The cost of road construction is sometimes inflated, and all the funds raised on the cost of the road constructions are stolen by Edi Rama, corrupt governors, and their clients. Edi Rama is the biggest theft that Albania has ever known, said Luzim Basha. Just a few days ago, the Economic and Finance Committee overthrew the president's decree on concessions, and according to the Democratic Party, the estimated total value is over 320 million euros. The Serious Crimes Court has concluded investigations into the Toyota Yaris file. Eddie Lika, Clevis Lika, and Alban Moliameri are now said to face charges of structured criminal group activity. Sources have informed that the suspects, Elvis Vladi and Alfred Vladi, are still under investigation and wanted for arrest. Furthermore, the defendants were also charged with the clearing of penal offenses after 3.4 million euros were seized in two Toyota Yaris vehicles coming from Belgium in June of 2018. The detainees have denied any connection or knowledge of the money hidden within the two vehicles. Meanwhile, the charge of structured criminal group activity was dropped for Agim Tseka, but because of the police search at his residence and the discovery of a weapon, the charge for illegal possession of weapons is now being communicated to him. Investigations into the case are also being conducted by the Belgian prosecution, which questioned the arrests in Albania and the opposition leader Luzim Basha. The testimony of the Democratic Party leader on his knowledge of the matter has been provided. In Parliament, he accused the leader of the Socialist Party parliamentary group, Talan Bala, who had defended the group and expected millions of euros emanating in two Toyota Yaris vehicles. E-cigarettes are more frequently being recognized as posing a serious health risk. In the United States, 5 people have died due to serious lung disease related to the use of e-cigarettes. International alerts regarding the risk posed from consumption is also of concern to experts who are seeking control over the certification of e-cigarettes entering Albania. Doctors say electronic cigarettes are just as harmful as traditional ones. The American Medical Association is calling on users to avoid the e-cigarettes, which are suspected as the main cause of more than 450 cases of lung disease. And finally, tonight, Kosovo's government has boycotted the Visegrad Regional Summit in the Czech Republic after the country's president, Milo Zeman, said he did not want to recognize Kosovo as an independent state. Kosovo's Prime Minister Ramush Haradinaj justified his absence on Thursday with electoral commitments for the October 6 elections. Kosovo has entered into a cycle of snap elections and important commitments at this time, which prevent my participation in the summit of the Visegrad countries and the Western Balkans, he wrote on Facebook. This statement came out on Wednesday during a meeting with his counterpart, Aleksandar Vučić, in Serbia. I am not a dictator, so within a month, I will consult with advisors to ask them if it is possible to revoke the recognition of Kosovo, Zeman said. Just a day before, the president who served as prime minister in the year 1999 during the war between Kosovo and Serbia told Vučić that he did not like Kosovo at all, but had no way to act. The foreign ministry and the Czech opposition confirmed that the 2018 decision to recognize Kosovo's independence has not changed, and the decision-making regarding the issue is not within the competence of the head of state. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you so much for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of RTV Ora, thank you and have a good night.